Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So in this video, let me share with you a very easy way to find relatively safe options to yield farm. Even if you want to yield farm with high APRs, that means very narrow ranges, this can actually work really well in the short term to find some winners because your entry price will always going to be important. But when it comes to narrow ranges, it's going to be extra important because in a way you're playing with leverage and it will leave you more exposed to impermanent loss. So for example, one of the biggest risks is that you go in a specific pool and then it drops, let's say this one 10% or even more. Like this one is even worse, Buzz. It's down for the past 24 hours 72%, and the liquidity is not all that low. So what I would tell you to do is go on DEX screener or maybe even Gecko terminal, order the tokens. We're looking at the trending ones, right? Because there's more yield to be found on these ones than on blue chip assets. Blue chip assets do play really well in the long term, but if you're looking for short term earning potential with more risk necessarily, you gotta go with these which are trending, and one of the parameters that determine that they are trending is necessarily the volume that they have been generating. So in order to find the most safe options, let's call it that, if there's anything safe, which is not going to be all that much safe, let me tell you, but the ones which are going to be able to handle bigger market fluctuations are the ones with deeper liquidity. Because when the liquidity is really low, even a low sell can influence the price a lot. But if the liquidity is deeper, it's going to take a whole lot more in order to make the price move or drop, and having a cascade effect, and many people panic selling, right? So you can come here on DEX screener, you order things out by liquidity, and then you see which are the most reputable options. Pump, it's a good one, of course. Fartcoin, this has been a tremendous option for the past months. I've been yield farming Fartcoin for months, actually doing really well. You can get over 1% a day very easily. Then cards, trending for the past couple days, since the past weekend at least. Aura, it's also a token. You can see like the age of the liquidity pool here. It has been around for one whole year on Solana, and it also has very close to $7 million in liquid. What else we have here? Troll, useless. These couple ones just showed up more recently. The same for Nobody. Then there's Camino. Camino is going to be a more reputable token because it's not a meme coin. It's going to have fundamentals behind it, a big DeFi protocol, which is Community Finance, right? So it's not necessarily going to be as volatile, but it's trending on the top 10, so it's definitely an option. And then you have Buzz, and Buzz really had a big hit today, down 71%. I haven't yield farmed this token, to be honest, but it might be a good option because that's the whole point I'm trying to make. You look for tokens with deep liquidity, preferably in the top 10, and then look at the ones which have a bigger dip. This can tell you that it's a good opportunity. They're basically on sale, and you can take advantage of that because likely they will bounce back up. So for example, let's go here on Buzz AI and see what's happened. Of course, you need to do some research about it. For example, this is not looking good. Like all of this straight down red candles definitely needs some more research about it to see what caused all of this, especially because we've seen here chopping it sideways since September the 14th, and even before it has been pretty much chopping sideways, then a huge pump and a huge dump. It can be just a normal correction after this pump, but it seems to be more than that because we lost like this that seemed to be somewhat of a solid range to be providing liquidity to it. I would need to do some more research about it, but probably I would stay out of it. But there's already some good options here. Camino is up 32%. I would not go into it right now because there will definitely be some times where the markets are hot and then they will cool off. This is asking for a correction, so I would wait for it to happen and then potentially go in. But this can be something to provide liquidity on in the long term due to the whole fact that Community Finance is one of the biggest protocols on Solana. What else we find here? So there's Troll. Troll is down 8%. It has been one of the biggest memes in the recent months on Solana. If you look at the chart overall for the past, let's go even to 4-hour candles. So we are still in the overall look of the chart, we are still pretty much at a high. But inside this high, if we zoom in, It's pretty much we are at the point where it's going to make it or break it from this level. If it drops, it's likely go down to this 9.5 cents, maybe even 5 cents. It's in a make it or break it point right now, but potentially I think it's a good option to just deploy some liquidity here, and hopefully it can rally up once again. So potentially we could see something like this happening. There's still somewhat of a 10% range before we lose this, which was the last low, right? But if it goes up 16%, which is already substantial, in the grand scheme of things, it would leave us in these latest highs of price that it got for the past, let's see, 2 days and 4 hours. So roughly 2 days, right? So these are potential scenarios. So essentially, this is what I wanted to share with you. How you can find something good, some good opportunities. It takes a little bit of chart reading, a little bit of risk, yeah, but this is very simply how we can find good opportunities to yield farm in the short term. And all of these, you see, they are generating somewhat of a good volume. The volume is not optimal, except for cards. Cards is doing exceptionally well, more volume than liquidity. That means a whole lot of fees. All of the others have much lower volume than liquidity, which necessarily it will impact your rewards unless you are yield farming in a pool which is being incentivized. In that case, you just need to stay in range, because even if the volume is low, even if the volume would be zero, as long as you are in range, you'll get some rewards. Okay, so essentially that's that. This is what I wanted to share with you on this one. Very simple way to find some good yield farming opportunities, and from those also see through which ones are going to be safer options. Most people will look at the green in the chart and FOMO in. It's not going to be optimal in my opinion, because likely you'll buy the top and then there will be a retrace, and if you're working with narrow ranges, that can really lead for you then to experience -5, maybe 10% retrace from the current price. So these are a couple of things you need to look out for. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for more if you enjoy this type of content. Thank you for watching, take care, keep exploring crypto. I'll see you on the next one.